So I made $2,000 in a single month with Polymarket, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it yourself. And it's very, very easy. So as you can clearly see, this page is not, I don't know, photoshopped. This is real. I made 2K in a single month. I made almost 1K in a single day. So yeah, how did I do? I was minus 700. But yeah, how did I do it? First of all, let's just get on with the basics. You need to find a profitable niche that you have some extensive knowledge on, right? For example, as I've talked in my previous videos, I really like tech, I really like culture, and I've been enjoying esports as well. Esports is very, very good to me. Now let's just see, for example, a trade I did. If you know League of Legends, it's a video game, very popular video game. You can trade anything on Polymarket, so yeah, it obviously has every esports there is. So yeah, I really enjoyed League of Legends. So as we can see here on my history, I bought with 2.7k and I sold for 3.25, something like that. I'm not really good at math. I'm just good at making money. I'm joking. This was a bad joke. Yeah, I'm gonna sound like a douchebag now. So yeah, let's just analyze my trade, right? Now, first of all, I bought, like, this was a mistake by me. I really wanted to start trading this, but I failed. I was in my job and I couldn't really pay attention on what is happening and stuff like that. I knew, like, I had a feeling that KT roster would win. But yeah, I was not really sure and I misplayed it completely. Now what I did. First of all, I bought somewhere around here, around 80%. Yeah, I think I bought around here. And I instantly realized that it was a big mistake, right? So I bought around here and I instantly realized it was a big mistake. And why is that? Because this was a best of 3. If you don't know, guys, how best of 3 works, is you need to win 2 out of 3 games. The same team, right? So yeah, I buy in before the match starts. The match was starting at 10 a.m. And then, as you can see, it starts hovering at around 80. And then the other team, DN Freaks, they get first blood and some more kills, something like that. And then instantly, my position starting losing money, right? And then they were starting losing, my team. And then they lost the first game. And then the odds were around 50-50. So, yeah, I had 2 options here. Panic sell and flip and buy the other team. Because they clearly had momentum because they won a single game and they only need 1 more to win the whole bet, right? So I had 2 options. Either sell at a loss, at a very huge loss. I was minus 1,700, I think. I was minus 1.7k almost. And I could just sell and flip my bet and then buy the other team, right? Or I could just stick it and stay with my bet. Hopefully my team would win, right? Now I had this big introduction because I wanted to touch a point on how to diamond hunt and not panic sell. Most of my audience comes from a memecoin background, right? And I was too in the memecoin game, and then I found Polymarket, and Polymarket is so much easier to make money, trust me, so much easier than memecoins. But what memecoins did to my brain was very, very bad, because they made me think in a different way. They made me look at charts with a different way. And what do I mean by that? Most of the time, if a memecoin starts dropping, it drops completely and you lose all your money. Now, this is not present with Polymarket. If a chart starts dropping, your position starts to lose money, it doesn't always mean that you are gonna lose all your money or it's not gonna go back up again. And as we can see, my position was starting to lose hard. It was around 39%. At this point, I had only $500 to my balance, I think. And then it started flipping again, and I sold around here at the peak. Now what I did was actually trying to hold because I had conviction that this team was better than the enemy team and eventually they would win 2 out of 3 games. At first, when I started trading on Polymarket, I had this very bad mindset that if a chart starts dropping, it's gonna drop. Because of all the bad wiring that the meme coins and the memecoin charts did to my brain. And at first, if something like this happened to my portfolio, I would instantly panic sell because I had these very bad thoughts from meme coins. Yeah, the chart is dropping and then I'm gonna lose all my money, right? So I would instantly panic sell even though my position would come to win. But I would have lost money because I panic sold. So I really hope I'm getting my point across to you guys that even if a Polymarket chart starts dropping, it doesn't mean that fundamentally anything changes, right? Or maybe it does. If something is changing, then yeah, you're fucked. But let me give you a more clear example of what I mean. So let's just say that you buy in this market if Nvidia is gonna be the largest company end of January. And you buy in at 95%, right? And then look at here. It starts dipping at 89.6. Let me do 1 week. Yeah, it starts dipping hard for no apparent reason. Once you see your balance in the minus, in the red, that doesn't mean, like, when you see this drop, it doesn't really mean that anything changes, right? It just means that some people, some gamblers, are trying to gamble their way out of their debt. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. Just more people think that Nvidia might not be number one, right? So if you have conviction, you should never, like when you're trading on Polymarket, you should never change your position if you have conviction. Now, obviously, like, we are not gods, like many of the times you might be wrong, but you need to realize that and then change your position. Not because you are afraid because you see the chart dropping. This is a very huge tip that I want you guys to understand, because even if you see the charts to start dropping and then you see your position losing money, it doesn't mean that you should panic sell. I know that if you see your chart becoming red and your position losing money, instinctively you might want to try to panic sell or something to not lose a lot of money, right? Before you do that, you need to actually sit down and pay attention on what is happening and trying to understand if fundamentally anything has changed or it's just people, I don't know, it's a rumor or something and people start panicking and selling their position and then your position loses money too, right? So you need to do very, very good research and trying to understand if your bet has fundamentally changed this much that you should actually sell your position because you're gonna lose all your money, right? This is a very hard topic to understand for you guys because I'm probably guessing you guys are beginners, but you need to pay close attention on what is happening and if you actually are in a bad position. Now on this example again, I bought at 80% on KT roster. And then I was minus $1,700 and I didn't panic sell because instinctively, like, I had this feeling that my team was actually gonna win because they were better than the other team. Even though they lost the first game, I was pretty sure that they had the best players, the better players than the enemy team. They had the better coaches. I knew it that they were, like, their first game was just a mistake and they would bounce back on the second and get the third. But as I told you before, I sold here because I didn't really want to risk it. And then, as you can see here again, it dropped a lot and then they won eventually. But I wouldn't want to experience the same thing again twice, losing so much money twice, right? So yeah, TLDR, if you have conviction, you never, and I mean never, want to change bets because, or panic sell because of the charts, or one more important thing, don't get scared with the comments. The Polymarket comments, like, everyone is acting like they know everything. Everyone is acting like they're an insider or they have insider knowledge or whatever. You need to filter everything. You shouldn't get scared about a single comment with a different position from you, or if they're speaking something that you didn't have in your mind before you do the bet. It's very good to read the comments because you might think of an outcome that you hadn't think before, but you shouldn't get emotional ever, and I mean ever. I will be frank with you guys, I was scared shitless when my position dropped to 37%. I was so scared, but I didn't panic sell because I had conviction and I thought eventually my team is gonna win. You should never panic sell. You should never get emotional. you always, and I mean always, want to do your research before you trade on a single market on Polymarket. It's very easy to get persuaded out of your position and then you start to lose a lot. Little by little, it's gonna add up and then you're gonna lose your whole portfolio. So be careful, and that's it for this video.